Jimmy. I'm the host of the show. Thanks for being with us. And hey, you know what? We're experiencing something rarely felt here in Southern California lately. I think they call it happiness. Do you remember that? Last night, the Dodgers beat the Tampa Bay Rays to win their first World Series title in 32 years. And I gotta say, besides seeing the Dodgers win, it was exciting to see people touching each other again. It really was. You know, they held the World Series at a neutral site in Texas to protect the teams from COVID-19, and it almost worked. Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner was mysteriously pulled from the game after the 7th inning because his COVID test results came back positive. Why they didn't find out until the game was almost over, I have no idea. Major League Baseball might want to invest in some slightly more rapid tests for the players. But once he did test positive, Turner took all the necessary precautions. He left the field for 20 minutes and then came right back out on the field. Here he is after the game. The good news is he was wearing a mask, one of those N95. Oh, wait, no, I guess he wasn't wearing a mask. But he had the mask on his ears. At least he wasn't holding the trophy that everyone touched. Oh, he was. Actually, the important thing is he wasn't hugging any of the guys, although he was. So he did do some hugging, but he didn't kiss anyone on the mouth. Oh, wait a minute. Except for his wife, who is now definitely positive too. Well, you know what? There's no iron team, but there's an iron ventilator. Hopefully it was a false positive and he'll be fine. But after the game, Dodgers fans one-upped him. They took to the streets. And it's funny because for whatever reason, some people don't seem to understand that celebrating does not protect you from the virus.
Immediately after that last out, COVID-19 took a backseat to the joy of being a winner.
It did? COVID-19, yeah, COVID's in the backseat making out with your girlfriend. That's what a winner you are. There was one good thing about the celebration. Finally answered the question, how many of my neighbors have fireworks? And the answer is all of them. Where they're getting them, I don't know. I haven't seen a fireworks stand since July. Are they selling bottle rockets on Etsy now? It's really confusing to me, but there were hundreds of thousands of fireworks last night. Every home in Los Angeles was firing, which is insane because there are still wildfires forcing people to evacuate their homes. But that didn't stop the fans from rebooting the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. This guy, not only was he doing donuts, he was doing donuts on top of fireworks, which, of course, caught his car on fire. And don't worry, he survived, and he'll probably have a lot of children. But there was vandalism, looting, dumpster fires. Basically, a Trump administration broke out in the streets of Los Angeles. But congratulations to the Dodgers. You almost killed us, but you won. The other celebration getting attention today is Kim Kardashian's tropical birthday bash. You may have seen on Instagram, for her 40th birthday, Kim Kardashian rented an island and brought everyone she knows to it. This is the post that got everyone crazy. She wrote, after 2 weeks of multiple health screens and asking everyone to quarantine, I surprised, already not a surprise, by the way, I surprised my closest inner circle with a trip to a private island where we could pretend things were normal just for a brief moment in time. But before you call her tone deaf, she followed that with, we danced, rode bikes, swam near whales, kayaked, watched a movie on the beach, and so much more. I realize that for most people, this is something that is so far out of reach right now. So in moments like these, I'm humbly reminded of how privileged my life is. This is for you. She's humbly reminded of how privileged. This is a humble reminder. For those of you who spent your birthday this year eating a ding-dong alone in your apartment, Kim Kardashian is humbly reminded. So I wonder if she knows, I wonder if anyone told her she's allowed to have a party and not post pictures of it. The backlash has been fierce. People really went nuts on this one. They're saying this could potentially derail Kanye's presidential campaign, which would be a shame. The election is 5 days away. Guillermo, did you vote last night like you said you were going to? No, you did not. We're going to the box tonight. After the show tonight.
Yeah, after the show, I promise.
Because of all the problems with the Postal Service, namely someone uprooting all the mailboxes, it's much safer, they say, to drop your ballot off at an official collection box to make sure it gets there in time. And this is proof. This is something I got delivered to my house yesterday. It's a Christmas card. I mailed this in December of last year. I guess it didn't have the apartment number on it, so they returned to sender. I just got it almost 11 months later. Locally, too. So if you can avoid it, don't mail your ballot find a drop box, put it in there. One of the reasons people are so confused about whether or not to trust the Postal Service is because there's a guy out there giving us mixed messages on it.
The post office has been a mess for many, many generations, but for certainly decades.
Well, there's no trouble with the Postal Service. Postal Service is going to do a good job.
The post office has been a disaster for many, many decades. Yeah, the post office is running as well as it has in a long time. The post office is a catastrophe. The Postal Service, they do a great job. The Postal Service is a joke. The post office is running very well. The post office is stupid.
Can't even agree with himself anymore. Last night, Trump was in Nebraska. He had a big rally there. After the rally, hundreds of his supporters were stranded for hours in the freezing cold, waiting for a bus to take them back to their cars. Trump left in Air Force One at 9. Many of those in attendance had to wait till almost midnight to get a ride back to their cars, and it was 27 degrees. It was a real mess. But that's the genius of Donald Trump. He's able to assemble a large maskless crowd during a pandemic, and while everybody's focused on whether or not they'll get the virus, somehow he finds a way to send them to the hospital for a completely different reason. The president was Abrahaming it up last night in Omaha. He had taught a history lesson on what it means to vote Republican.
A vote for Republicans is a vote for the American dream. It's a vote for acknowledgement that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Is that nice? People don't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
People don't know that. Whenever he says a lot of people don't know that, it means he didn't know that. Trump had a rally in Arizona, in Bullhead City, Arizona today, where he compared himself favorably to yet another beloved U.S. president.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nobody's ever heard, we all liked Ronald Reagan, but nobody ever said, we love you, we love you, we love you. And he wouldn't get crowds like this. If Ronald Reagan, who I consider be top-notch, if he came here, he'd have a couple of hundred people legitimately.
What planet is this lunatic from? Who feels the need to compete with Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan couldn't draw 200 people in Bullhead City? Ronald McDonald could draw 200 people in Bullhead City. There's nothing to do in Bullhead City. I've been there. This is interesting. Members of Trump's own coronavirus task force are said to be personally offended by a release from the White House yesterday that claimed, among other things, that the president ended the pandemic. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy put out a list of Trump's achievements thus far, and if you look closely, you'll see highlights include ending the COVID-19 pandemic, which, that's good news. You'd think that would be... Won't see that on MSDNC. Also today, we got to hear some rare audio of Trump's #1 talking boy, advisor-in-law Jared Kushner, who was recorded by Bob Woodward, the writer, who was writing a book about the president. And Jared was boasting about how Trump took control of the country back from the doctors. That's right, he said, Trump's now back in charge. It's not the doctors. Which sounds like what your kidnapper tells you when you wake up in a bathtub full of ice and your liver is missing. Imagine those saying something like that out loud. He's taking it back. It's like, attention passengers, unbuckle your safety belts. Captain Trump is in charge. We're going to be landing the plane on a rock very soon. Jared also told Bob Woodward there would be a panic phase and a pain phase, which is exactly what he said to Ivanka when he proposed to her. Does talking to Bob Woodward work out well for anybody? Maybe it's time to rethink Take Your Son-in-Law to Work Day. This election is driving us crazy, and it's especially hard to talk politics with family and friends who don't share your views. It's become a very, very difficult thing. So in an effort to release some of the pressure, we gave some people on the street a chance to put on a mask and anonymously address those individuals in their lives with whom they disagree.
Do you have anyone in your life who's been driving you crazy this election?
Yeah?
Great. Now with that mask on so they won't know it's you, give them a piece of your mind and let them know how you really feel.
I'm so sick and tired of listening to the that my sister Noreen keeps saying, touting on about this orange stain being the best thing to happen to this country, and when we all know he's the worst thing. As I've watched this beautiful nation of ours go down to the tubes with one bad policy after another and one piece of crook of a head coming into office after another. And here's to my sister Noreen, who keeps trying to tell us what a great guy he is. You're a piece of yourself, you little. They can all go themselves, right? Yes.
I'm not sure. Do we need any more than that? I don't know. Well, but just for the hell of it. Go on.
I would like to say to you, Dad, you are an just like the man I hold the mask of. Just want to remind everybody to get out and vote and make a difference.
I need you to listen, Mr. Girl. You're supposed to be a Christian. I'ma really pray for you. You talking about prayer? Yeah, you need some prayer. Cause you all out of balance, okay?
David, how can you vote for a pig like that? He is not representative of the American people. He divides our country. He's an and vote the out.
All right, Pearl, thank you, my dear.
Burning up under here.
Oh, you're great.
Oh, you know, I really wish I wouldn't have done it.
Now, David's never going to know it's you.
All right. Well, thanks, folks. We have a good show for you tonight. Gillian Jacobs is with us. We have music from Gracie Abrams, and we'll be right back with David Letterman. So stay with us. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you want to be that way about it, don't.